All right, kiddos, lesson 1, representing ratios with diagrams. Remember, ratios are a comparison of two like things, like cats in foster care and dogs in foster care. For example, you can keep 5 dogs and 1 cat. That's what they allow. But if there's 2 fostering, then they could have 2 cats with 10 dogs, 3 cats with 15 dogs. They actually become equivalent fractions. So it's open now for you to do in class. And what you guys will see is this. Let's use diagrams to represent ratios. We would do this because it makes it a little bit easier to see visually. Warm up. First, complete the warm up. Find the value of each expression mentally. 24 divided by 4. 1/4 of, and multiplication is the dot, but it also means of, 1/4 of 24. And finally, 24 times 1/4. Oh, one more. 5 divided by 4. What does that get? You might get a decimal or a fraction. Let's share what we noticed about the 4 problems. And then activity, a collection of snap cubes. Snap cubes are interesting. We will read a ratio information from a picture and represent it in a diagram. First, we'll use ratio language and write some sentences to describe a picture. Then we will draw a diagram that represents the ratio information. Finally, we will share our diagrams and discuss how they represent ratio sentences. This is an example of a diagram. 2 greens, or GG. Choose 2 of the colors in the image and draw a diagram showing the number of snap cubes for these 2 colors. Trade papers with a partner. On the paper, write a sentence to describe the ratio shown in their diagram. Your partner will do the same for your diagram. Return your partner's paper. Read the sentence on your paper. If you disagree, explain your thinking. So for students that are online, I think we could put this in the discussion questions and do it that way. So that's what we'll do for this question. That way we can all be involved. Let's invite some classmates to share their sentences. All right, activity, blue paint and art paste. Let's use diagrams to represent ratios. We will be working in pairs to discuss different ways to use ratio language and describe diagrams. First, we will identify statements that describe a given diagram. Then we will create a diagram and sentences to represent a new situation involving ratios. Finally, we should share and compare our diagrams and sentences. Elena mixed 2 cups of white paint with 6 tablespoons of blue paint. So obviously she's wanting to create just a hint of blue into her paint. Here's the diagram that represents the situation. And it's helpful because, the words fly out of your head as you're working on a problem. So sometimes it helps to draw it. We got 2 cups of white paint. They made them a little bit bigger. And then 6 tablespoons of blue paint. 2 cups, 6 tablespoons. Let's look at some statements that describe this diagram. Circle all of those that correctly describe the situation. The ratio